fucking Texas. Look, I need y'all to know something, Texas. We don't fuck with you. You need to fuck with us. We got some shit that y'all need out here. And you got some shit that we need. That's why we out here. We're gonna bring something to the game that y'all ain't ready for yet. Just support the game, man. Just support it. You know what I mean? We're gonna be doing
I'm gonna hit you at a right angle though. I'm gonna hit you
like hit it at that right angle too, like that. Blam. That's why we out here. Anyway, yo, so first things first, what's up? Of course, it's Jay Dizzle, aka Netter Cat. We ain't done. It ain't over. It ain't over just yet. I want to speak about a few different things, and of course, we're gonna address this little situation with Taharka Bey and his fuckery. And is this nigga trying to start a cult? Hold up, real quick. Like, is this nigga really up here trying to start a whole cult / village, knowing he is a registered sex offender? And how many of y'all are gonna be foolish enough to move your family and children? What I've been noticing lately, see, after he got exposed, and I'm going to show you some other things, some other concepts of building on land. It's not a new concept. It's actually a salutable, respectable concept. And we're going to get into that. It's something I've been speaking on for years. I've been working on some things, and that's pretty much why I was in Texas this weekend. But that's a whole different story, because to me, it's not a contingent upon if other people want to build and add on with me or not. It's still going to happen. I'm not soliciting for any money, for anybody to donate to the cause. Don't need that. Okay. But I wanted to speak about a few things regarding some of the latest developments. Now, first things first, you've probably noticed that ever since Taharka Bey pulled his own records, you see, it was one thing when he was able to say that we're just lying and those records weren't correct, or that, we doctored the documents, or we just misinterpreted. But once he went and pulled them for himself, and surely others have as well, it's a little bit harder to stand on that. So now he's doing everything. He wants to talk about Ukraine. He wants to talk about the things that black folks need to worry about. He wants to talk about anything except for what he said he was going to do, which was to prove the documents were fake or they were misunderstood. Now, he doesn't want to expose people anymore. He doesn't want to do any of that. Now he wants to build a Moorish village for real, for real. So in other words, what he did is he took the money, always talking about scams. This Negro took the money that he raised, bought a building, flipped it, turned it into guap, a nice little chunk of change. And now he's trying to say he's going to buy this Moorish village. I seen this on one of the videos that he just did. So I'm going to show you that. And the fact that he's disrespecting, he's still wanting to call out my homegirl, my good sister, the research ninja. Like, in the midst of all this shit that he's going through and saying that he wants to build a for real village, he still has time to troll and do these things. So we're going to keep on, at least I'm going to keep on smacking this Negro up. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do right here. Let's go ahead and get this real quick. Let me show you a quick video file, if I can find it. I know I got it. See if I can find it. Shout out to everybody that's watching and everything. See if we can find it, man. There we go. This is just something kind of funny I thought was.
Wow, dude.
Keep the research ninja's name out your fucking mouth. Yeah. All right, that was funny. Let me show you something else real quick. We got some fun with it though, like we always do. But it ain't really a joke though. But we are gonna have a little bit of fun with it. Let me find this little meme that the homie made, if I can find it. This it? No, this it. Anyway, hold on. I'm gonna play something for you guys for the late comers real quick. This is just a little bit of something when I was out there in Texas. It's gonna all tie into all this whole movement of acquiring land, property, trying to do some things that really we should as a people be doing. Even though we should be careful. First of all, like who we would entertain as someone worthy of building and adding on and creating a village, because it's not really a village. Anytime you build anything on land, you should be looking at it as a legacy, something that's going to be generational, because that's how towns are built that morph into cities, that morph into kingdoms, blah, blah, blah. This whole concept I've spoke about before plenty of times, but this is just when I was out there. When I was out there. We out here, man. Downtown Houston in the, we out here right now.
Gang, gang.
Gang.
Gang, gang.
Yeah. Look at Texas. I need y'all to know something, Texas. We don't fuck with you. You need to fuck with us. We got some shit that y'all need out here. And you got some shit that we need. That's why we out here. We're gonna bring something to the game that y'all ain't ready for yet. Just support the game, man. Just support it. You know what I mean? We're gonna be done. Yeah,
I'm gonna hit you at a right angle though. I'm gonna hit you
we
like
hit it at that right angle too, like that. Blam. Yeah. That's why we out here. Bam. Bam. So, hey, you know what's funny about this whole situation, though? It seems like everything, like that one caller that told Taharka Bey that we are now his masters, was real shit. Because you notice everything he's doing now is in response to what the pressure that we've been putting. And I don't just say we as like me, the research ninja, DSP. I'm saying like us collectively, those who have been tuning in, getting this information, challenging him on what he's saying, making their own, creating their own content. Now it's starting to steer where his conversation is, to the point he doesn't even want to expose and start talking shit. See what he's realized, that when you throw stones from a glass house, someone's gonna pick up them stones and throw it back at some point. When you make a career out of exposing people, looking into their backgrounds, and bringing that forth to the public, then people are gonna, at some point, you're going to be the subject of the same type of investigation and research. And when you got the type of skeletons this Negro has, you better abandon that whole strategy. So now he's doing things that he should have already been doing, which is talking about building. See, he should have been on this shit. He's been collecting money since 2016. He should have been on this. We're going to build and get some land. He collected money for it. It's not like he just did it out of his own pocket. So if some of y'all may or may not know, I started a Facebook group around 2015 called the Blacktown Revival Movement. And the concept was to move to Oklahoma, where there are still 12 black towns in existence to this very day. In case you didn't know, there's probably about 20 black towns all over the country that still exist. Some of them are in Georgia. I believe Louisiana may have one. Florida does have one. I think the oldest one is in Florida. I think Missouri, Kansas, Michigan, Illinois. Like there are actual black towns in existence right now. So the concept of the Blacktown Revival Movement was for some of us to get down to Oklahoma, either buy some land adjacent to one of the cities, or basically domicile in the city. And as we get the numbers up, we control more of the administration, because a lot of them are like, towns that are real broke now. After the Second World War, blah, 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 agriculture prices went down. That's what funded most of the cities, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the idea was to reverse migrate. For those of us that live in the North where it's expensive to live, we can sell our homes, or we can get some money, a bag up, and we can go and build in these towns where we can grow our own food, live healthier, live amongst ourselves, fortify ourselves with our own security forces, aka police departments that we control because it's us. And we can trade with other black towns, and we could do essentially what kept Black Wall Street popping even during the Depression, which is they had money circulating. They had products and services that they were doing on their own, so they were insulated by what was happening outside of the city. Meaning, while the other cities were in a depression, there's a city called Boley, Oklahoma in 1932, which was thriving so hard that even when Pretty Boy Floyd, the bank robber, tried to rob the bank, it was a no-go. But why would he try to rob that bank? Because it was a depression, but they weren't in a depression. So the concept of, doing what you have to do to build your own village or community, it is a good concept. And it's something that has been in the works, and it's actually already exists. There's already Moorish communities. There's already Israelite communities, several of them. There's already quote unquote Kemetic communities, RBG communities. They've been popping up the last 10 years where there are unincorporated towns or people who just bought land, who decide to live off the land. These things are happening, and they're going to organically continue to happen because that's what time it is for those that understand. So I did do, let's get to this just to show you, because I spoke about this before. So it's kind of weird how all of a sudden now he's out there posing in front of land, making it seem like he has some new, fresh, original idea. And he's out there posing in front of land. But look, I've been looking for land and doing this for a minute. And I'm pretty sure he knows it because I've said it publicly on a few different platforms that I know he's seen. But check this out. Maybe I'll mute the sound. You're talking about trying to get some land. Fuck the dumb. So yeah, this is something. This is over a month old, I think, by now. And this is we was looking at some land to purchase. This land didn't work out for several different reasons. A few different lands that we were looking at, they didn't work out for various reasons. For one, this isn't in Texas right here. I've been in Texas the last few days. I mean, I just got back yesterday. But this land right here, let me try to for this a little bit. Isn't actually in Texas. This is actually out here where it's very expensive. Let me meet. That's what's gonna happen if a motherfucker trying to pull up on some bullshit. So, in the Northwest, land is expensive. Seattle area, expensive. I think they wanted like $200,000 for this 5-acre little plot of land. And because I've already had it on the radar to go south, I've already had it on the radar to go south to get the land because it's a lot cheaper and you can get a lot more bang for your buck. Ultimately, because they didn't want to make any kind of deals, like they wanted $200,000 for this. They didn't want to take no half now, half later. They didn't want to take no. Okay, we'll just take 80% of it and make it a deal. It was an older couple, so they weren't really trying. They don't know if they're gonna live till next week, so they were like they needed all of it. Right. So then it was just like, yo, why don't we just go ahead and just do something that we've already been thinking about, and get it down south. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering, because everything else that we're doing and saying is prompting him to respond and make videos in response to what we're saying and what we're doing, what we're calling him out on, what we're challenging him on. I'm wondering if that has something to do with why now. Let's do this right here. Yeah, this land was 169. But anyway, 169,000. But anyway, so let's check this out. So now this cat, not only is he disrespectful enough to call out my homegirl, call her out of her name, but now he's talking about he wants to do a Moorish village, for real, on some land. So here's him.
I'm gonna go out, but all the way back there is the real Moorish village. All the way back there is the real Moorish village. While they talking crazy, we actually trying to build something. How many of these hoteppers is gonna come out here and help build something?
That's a good question. None. Not a one is going to come to any Taharka Bey village, no sex offender island. Are we going to go to build? That would be ridiculous. Anyone who knows about your past, it would be ridiculous for them to domicile somewhere where you're going to have control. You're basically trying to pull a Dr. York. And I don't know enough about Dr. This is not no disrespect to Dr. York or anybody who's a new Nubian. I'm not versed enough in that to really break that down and critically have any type of criticism for it. But I'm just saying that I believe he has been charged for some type of sex offenses, or at least that's on the radar of what people know him for. So he's trying to do exactly what he's been saying all these people have done that he doesn't agree with. Now all of a sudden, He wants people to really come to some land isolated somewhere in his name and have their kids around him, who is a registered convicted sex offender. And he's not speaking about that at all. He's not disproving those claims. He hasn't said that, no, that's not true. He went and pulled the records for himself. And all of a sudden, as soon as he pulled the records, you notice he's not speaking about none of that anymore. He's acting like he's the only person in the conscious community who has been speaking about or acquiring land to build on. Little brother Ben X has a whole little 1,000 acres or whatever they got in Georgia. We got to congratulate him for that. There's all kinds of different people and organizations. If you're really tapped in, Taharka, you would know this. There's like I said, there's Israelite communities that have been in existence for years. I believe the biggest one being in Tennessee somewhere. I forgot the brother's name. He's a pastor. His name slips me now. I mean, there's already all these kind of things going on. There's all kind of people who are buying acres and acres of land with the same idea: grow food, raise cattle, set up the infrastructure for well water, the infrastructure for electricity, if it's not already on that land, build homes, build roads, solar or wind power, fiber optics or wirelessly setting up things for internet and, other needs for communications. This isn't like a far out concept. It's just interesting that now you're focused on this when you were focused on trying to expose Sanetta and Nepal actually committing a crime called revenge porn, doing so. Now all of a sudden you're serious. You want to get this land, you want to build, you want to do all this shit, and you don't want to talk about none of that stuff you was talking about before, because now your card has been pulled. Because now it's clear and you can't deny it. You would think someone who had their record pulled showing that they were a registered sex offender, someone who said it was doctored, would be feverishly making sure they put that information out, proving it was doctored. But you can't do that when you pull it yourself and it looks exactly like what we pulled. And there's more to come. Now, we ain't done. We're just going to slowly continue to put this shit out. Ain't nobody, that village ain't popping, partner. Anybody foolish enough to take their family out there with you, with the record you have, not just the record you have. See, because if you was really on some serious change, your record would be your past, but your record isn't your past because it still reflects who you are right now. You're a slimy, slithering snake. Scammer. You're not genuine. You're not willing to really have a real dialogue. You've never even apologized. God damn. How can you have done all the things you've done and never ever have even issued some type of apology? You've never even said, I'm sorry for the damage I've done to my community, to my family. Some of the misleading things I've said that have hurt the reputations of some of the people who I've attacked for all these years. You haven't even done that. You're not even man enough to have the integrity to say that you've ever been wrong. And now you want to lead a cult because it would be a cult. And cult doesn't always mean something negative, but this case, it is. Because anyone who would come out there to fuck with you after all the damage you have done without making none of it right. I mean, you stole people's money years ago and you're just now talking about putting money down for some land only because you've been called out. That's the only reason. Only because you have been called out. Only because some of the, it's backfired. The fact that you want to expose everyone, but then it's shown that you do the exact same or worse. Now all of a sudden you're talking about you want to build some land. And who else is building land? These hoteps aren't building land. Bullshit. That's what I said before, especially when it comes to any kind of community work. The reason why you don't register in your community. And I know people in Baltimore. I know pull-up niggas in Baltimore. Take that how you want to. And I know niggas that do real work that would be more than happy to network with people who are seriously putting in work. But all the years you've been doing this, you've been just doing fuckboy shit. And the reason why I know you don't do no work is because you couldn't have the attitude you have to drag people who really do the work over superficial differences if you were really doing that work. Because if you're really trying to build that village or that Moorish village and really put in that work that you say you're trying to put in, you're going to come against the type of challenges they're going to make you understand. Because now you're going to have to come up with some excuses pretty soon. Oh, man, brother, we couldn't do this or that, family, because you understand it's not easy. It's not easy putting in this work without support. That's why it's disgusting. That's why it pissed me off when I seen some of the people you're attacking who I know personally, who are getting it from the mud, using their own money without support, just to do it from the goodness of their heart because they knew the work had to be done. When you won't make a move unless the people give you money to do so. So you ain't got no right to be speaking upon anybody in the community. Especially now that it's known that you're a fucking convicted sex offender. That means you have violated someone sexually at some point in your life, and it's on the record. You were convicted of it. You signed the paperwork acknowledging you knew you was on the sex offender registry list. So you need to keep me and my's name out your fucking mouth. Real shit. Hold up.
Yuck, yuck. Where you at, Yuck, Yuck Bay? Where you at, Yuck, Yuck Bay? How many people have the fortitude to plant some seeds? Come out here, honey.
Plant some seeds.
How many people?
Cut it out, man. Yeah, look, I want to congratulate anyone with enough foresight to to understand ownership versus renting. To understand land ownership, especially. That's a good thing. Unfortunately for you, I think it's a little bit too late. I think you have been exposed to the point. See, if you would have did this a year ago, if you'd have done this a year ago, I think you would have got a lot more traction. But now you're only doing these things in the midst of being called out for who and what you really are. And you're doing it to try to thinking you're one-upping people, but you're not. You're not one-upping nothing. This Negro said I was broke. Remember that? Negro, you don't even know. You really don't. And I am broke. I'm broke. Even, you know what I'm saying? I'm broke. That's fair. Because I don't have a lot of money because I don't keep money. I keep assets. I keep assets because they appreciate in value. Of course, the assets I keep are very liquid and can be liquidated 24/7, even without creating a tax event. That's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying? Talk to Cryptonomics. If he's really into crypto, he should be able to explain to you. He would know what I'm talking about. I keep assets that appreciate in value that could be liquidated or borrowed against in a collateral debt position. You know what I'm saying? It gets deep. But the bottom line is acquiring tangibles. So that's a good thing. But who's fucking with that Moorish Village sex offender location? Who's going to take their children out when he abused his own damn children? And you're going to take yours to be around there? But he still has to find a way to attack the research ninja.
How many people have the fortitude to plant some seeds? Come out here, honey. How many people? How many people have the fortitude to come out here and plant some seeds? Build some structures? Anybody? Anybody?
Build some structures, yeah. This was coming from the same dude who didn't know that a rubber roof would have wood under it. I've been doing commercial construction for years. I don't really do residential, but I mean, it's not hard if you've been in commercial construction. And like just the simple basic things. This dude is a handyman. This dude ain't building shit. Let's keep it a buck. This nigga could fix a toilet maybe. This nigga ain't building nothing from the ground. He don't even know how to put together the crew that would be necessary to build it from the ground. For real. Matter of fact, here's what he's going to have to do. He's going to raise some more money so he can hire a general contractor that can handle that for him, which I'm not saying is a bad idea. I'm just saying that's what he's going to have to do. So he's going to need more of your money to build his structures that he is going to centralize. Because he said himself, he's looking to centralize. If you understand what centralize means, it means one single point of failure and authority. And who do you think that single point of authority is going to be? If he was serious about this Moorish village, he wouldn't have isolated all the Moors who actually put up on it. Because he wouldn't have that. If he did buy that land, which we don't know, it could be cap at this point. But if he did it with the money that you loaned him. Those of you who supported him, loan him the money to flip, to not do what he's going to do, to put it in other things, to pay off his taxes. Blah, 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 blah. 6 years later, all of a sudden, now he's showing you some land that he's going to need more of your money to build on. But now you have to give him that money knowing he's a sex offender and move your family out there to build with a known sex offender. How many of you are foolish enough to do that? Surely some of you are. That's my point. But the concept of land, trying to get some land, that's not nothing new. Ain't new, Taharka? They hate that motherfucker. Thank you. I ain't know.
So we get black
Motherfuckers getting land all over the place.
So really just getting our people together
Yeah.
and showing them something different, being able to grow and possibly
Yeah.
show off.
This is me and one of my queens
That's the idea.
looking at some land.
That's the beautiful part about it.
Yeah.
You would have to do something to
Decided to take it to Texas because we can get a lot more land for it.
Yeah, have to rent something.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Didn't borrow any money for this. Didn't raise any money.
Stuff would grow.
Yeah, it would grow, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at the soft dirt and
We ain't asking the people to give us your money so we could do some. No. We're gonna do the shit. Like I said, I've had a group called Blacktown Revival Movement for about 5 or 6 years on Facebook, and people just didn't really get the concept. You know what I mean? So the strategic thing about this Texas move is that Oklahoma is only one state to the north, meaning we can acquire, as we're doing, home property, Texas, still fuck with Oklahoma, still associate and network and trade with other small communities. Like I said, there's already 12 black towns in Oklahoma alone. 12 black towns exist in Oklahoma right now, and another dozen scattered across the U.S. So to be able to do these kind of moves is a smart and wise move. Because what you grow and raise on your land may be different than these other lands, and now we're trading food. You may produce different things. You might have some people that are producing furniture over here. You may have some engineers that are producing electronic type, laptop, whatever. You may do business with other countries. Get cocoa from Ghana for coffee or for chocolate. Get coffee from Kenya. Get blah, blah, blah. These things, saying these are discussions that I've been having for a long time on Black Guy Stand Radio, and that we really need to start having even more now. But beware of the cap. And make sure if you're going to even consider a move like that, make sure you understand that you can fully trust whoever you're doing it with. Or guess what? You could do it on your own. If you live up north and you have a home, you could sell it and get a way more value for your money in the south. That's why we migrating and flying and reverse migrating down south. I'm a city boy from the Northwest. I'm about to be a country nigga with acres. Feel me? Because, you know what I'm saying? Plus, since, me and mine, we know how to make money. We know how to hustle. We got businesses, legitimate businesses. I don't speak about them publicly too much. I don't need to. It is what it is. I understand finances. I understand crypto. I understand assets. I understand how to make things pop. I understand how to create passive incomes. And a lot of us have all these different knowledges that we could put together to do some real shit. That's why I'm not raising money. I'm not telling people, hey, give me some money so I could do. No, I'm going to show you what it is. And at some point, And first, it's going to be for me and mine. Me, my queens, our kids, our family, our extended family. And then at some point, other people that's willing to come down, you could put up on a little plot, or you could always just commit to helping build. You might be sufficient in farming and agriculture. You might be a electronical engineer. You may know how to create things out of metal and steel. You may be you may have military expertise to help us defend whatever we have, because whatever we build has to be defended or it's not going to last. That's the difference between the black towns in Oklahoma that are still in existence right now and the ones that aren't. The difference is the ones that could defend themselves, they still exist. 1932 Boley, Oklahoma. The ones that couldn't defend themselves, not that Black Wall Street was a town, it was only a section of Tulsa, but they couldn't defend themselves, even though they rebuilt it after the fact. But if you can't defend it, you have no business building it. And for somebody who went against every single militant organization that we have, how are you going to defend that shit? You don't even respect the concept of having an organized paramilitary militia. You don't even understand and respect the importance of that. How the fuck are you going to protect your Moorish village? I'm just showing y'all, this ain't new concepts, man. I'm wondering if you've seen what I've been doing, and that's what gave you the idea, and now all of a sudden you want to show everybody that, yo, look at, I'm on some land. This is me, on some land.
Have the crops rotated.
These moves are being made without having to solicit money from other people. Let's keep it a buck. But you still want to go out there, and even in the midst of all this, you find time to disrespect and to attack the research. Help yourself. At this point, you should be falling back from anything that could sound like an attack of a woman at this point, because we've seen your record. That's why we're saying it'd be one thing if that was your past, but no, you still do it. You still attack women. You still do. You still go out of your way to do these things to this very day. And for what? For pulling your card the same way you've been thinking you're pulling everybody else's card? So the same behavior that you have done for the past several years, you can't even take a couple months of people doing that to you and exposing you? You don't have the integrity for leadership. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with your shit. Anybody out there that'll be foolish enough to go anywhere, let me take this out, where this cat is, talking about they're gonna move to some Moorish village that's ran by him, you deserve everything that you're going to get. Real shit. Let me see what else we can do here. Anyway, I didn't want to make this too long, man. I just wanted to let's do this real quick. Let me give a shout out to AJ for this meme right here. This shit is funny as fuck. But just notice how, like, everything that we do and everything we say, he has to respond to now. And notice what he's not responding to. After all that cap about how he's going to pull these records and prove that we're wrong and we can't read and all that shit. He ain't pulled a fucking record yet. He hasn't proven what we said to be false yet. He doesn't even want to speak about it no more. He's shutting the fuck up now. The last thing he wants to do is have that conversation about how his name got on that registry and if it's false or not. Now he wants to speak about anything else. Let's check out what he's talking about. Let's just check out real quick. Let's just see. For shits and giggles. Let me share this instead. Let's get up out of here. But before we do, let's just see what he's been on as of late. Because what he's not on is proving all that shit that he said he was going to prove. Is he still suing Sinetta? Hold on, where's that shit coming from? Where the hell is that coming from? Let's do it like that. What he's not doing, he said he's on the road to litigation, didn't he? Didn't he say he was on the road to litigation? There we go. The road to litigation. Didn't he say this about a week ago? Is he still suing Sinetta or not? For the false allegations. Huh? Remember this right here? This is when he accidentally showed you. When he pulled the same paperwork we've been showing you. And he accidentally showed. He tried to cover it up. It was the same paperwork. Here's him saying he has that paperwork. And since pulling that paperwork, he ain't did one video proving the paperwork isn't what we said it was. Not one. He wants to talk about Ukrainians. Are you ready for the food shortages? 5 embarrassing facts. I got land. What else? Happy birthday. Will Smith. Okay, look at this cap right here. GS mastered these scammers. Now to the next step. Fuck out of here. This nigga got exposed to the point where he's running. He's running from anything having to do with anyone criticizing him. Because he sees that the fucking gig is over. Yes, he did have a proper burial. Because this nigga's done. And you can also see that the numbers are down like a motherfucker. Right? 23,000 subscribers. He can't even get he can't even get 4,000 views. The only one he got, only one that got a few views is only because they thought he was gonna show that paperwork, but he showed the fuck didn't. So the numbers are down, ain't nobody fucking with him. And he damn sure is not about to show you anything about that paperwork because it's already been showed. Period. So the little graveyard channel's won. We are his masters. And he needs to bow the fuck down. And keep my homegirl's name.
Wow, dude.
My sisters. Keep my sister's name out your fucking